Hey all, thanks for stopping by. This is an extra special video. Given the current crisis, I didn't want to wait until my normal Monday upload time to put this video out. Last night, so March 17th as I'm filming this, the American Society of Reproductive Medicine put out their official recommendations on what couples should do as they're going through IUI and IVF right now amid the COVID-19 epidemic. And I wanted to make sure that I got this out to you if you haven't already seen it through some other channel. And before we get too far into this, I just wanted to say so sorry to the couples that are having to deal with this crisis while they're going through fertility treatments. It's already so hard to go through this and to do all the injections and take all the medications, and then to have the uncertainty of these very uncertain times on top of it is just a lot. So give yourself some grace, let yourself have a cry, and again, I'm sorry that this is what's happening to you all this month. So let's get to their official guidance. I'm not gonna waste any of your time. If you are not in the middle of a cycle, whether that is you just have consultation appointments, you're on schedule to start medications for an IUI or IVF or an embryo transfer, their guidance is don't. Their guidance is just don't. And essentially it falls into the category of they don't know if anything is gonna go wrong. I know there has been at least one case of someone who is COVID positive and given birth and their baby was healthy, but right now they just don't know anything about pregnancy and the COVID-19 virus. So out of an abundance of caution, which is a phrase we hear all too often these days, they are saying if you can avoid getting pregnant, go ahead and do that because we just don't know. We don't know. And partially because what we do know is that generally with respiratory conditions, pregnant women do have more severe reactions and get hospitalized more. So they're like, while we don't know anything specific, we do know that this is a respiratory thing and that is bad. So it's more that it is a risk to the mother than the baby at this point, but it really falls into this big question mark category. Nobody knows. So if you can avoid it, then they say avoid it. Now, for everyone that is mid-cycle, you're on Clomid, you've started egg stems, they say go ahead and continue this cycle and stop afterwards. Saying if you've already started hormones and you've already started treatment, it's kind of up to you and your doctor, but go ahead. But again, it's an individual discussion at that point. There are exceptions. If you under urgent time constraints think you have chemo scheduled for next month, then yeah, go ahead with your egg retrieval. But diminished ovarian reserves aren't counting as an urgent need right now. They said go ahead and wait it out. But again, that is a discussion for you and your doctor to have. Because maybe I should throw this disclaimer in here, not a doctor, just someone who got the news, thought I should share it with you all. And that is really all we have. If you are scheduled for a transfer, cancel it. If you are scheduled for an IUI and haven't started medications, cancel it. Even if you have started medications, talk to your doctor, maybe cancel if you want to be on the super safe side. If you're in the middle of an egg retrieval, go ahead and complete that, but don't do anything else. And I think that covers most people. Good luck in everything. Please stay healthy, stay sane as you try to adhere to social distancing. And until next time, ladies, keep on fighting.